Yo, yo, yo. DPS podcast. That's damage per second podcast. Back on a fantastic Friday night. Feeling all right. I am SloMoBackSlap here with Gaming Forte, who's trying to pray his Michigan team can survive in this March Madness college basketball thing. I'm so disconnected from basketball. I completely forgot March Madness was a thing. But Forte, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. March Madness is a thing. You know, this is the Sweet 16 trying to get to the Elite Eight. It's better than NBA basketball, I'll tell you that. I mean, actually, basketball has just been bad in general. So
yeah, look, man, I'm not.
Most people ain't paying no attention to it.
I used to be so deep into basketball, pause, but I just only just really follow football now.
Yeah, same.
College football, NFL, that's all I really follow now. I don't really care about basketball like that, you know. I used to. I think it's because the league has just gotten so soft.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you watch soccer / football, however, people, wherever you come from, wherever you want to call it, where they start flopping all over the place to try to get yellow cards and red cards and whatever.
You said when they start flopping all over the place.
But that's true. Like every time I watch the World Cup, it's just like dudes just like they could be actors. Like they could really, get an Oscar or something because they just be like falling, they act like they got shot. And then as soon as like the referee falls for it, they just get up and they fine. Like that's like, and I feel like LeBron brought that to the NBA, and so I blame LeBron for this. Just like that, all that flying all over the place, throwing his arms up like he got stabbed or something. Like, bro, get out of here, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, he do be on.
You too big.
I got shot from across the yard.
Yeah, you too big to be doing that foolishness, man.
I remember that
dude.
dude.
What's going on, bro?
No, good. Excuse me, king of. I got elbowed in the face, and you look at the replay from 3 different ways. It's like, dog, that dude did not even touch.
Didn't even touch you.
And you went down like Tommy Hearns or Frazier. But no, good. Today was a well. First of all, today was a Pokemon TCG launch day, so it was busy as hell at work, and GameStop was giving out a promo card today because they usually give them out for new set releases when they come out. And this one was a Gengar one with the GameStop stamp on it. Let me tell you, bro, the amount of people that wanted this promo was wild. And I see why. Literally, like, I want to say we opened at 9. By 11 o'clock, no, we opened at 10. I'm sorry. By 11 o'clock on eBay. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a link of it. But the promo was going for $125 on eBay. Sold listings. I was like, "What are we doing?" I said, "This is a free promo." But the power of certain Pokemon really do it, man. It's kind of crazy, but I was so happy when we ran out of them. I could just tell people we didn't have them anymore because it was just like everybody was just walking in like, "Do you still got the promo?" And I'm like, "Bro, no, I don't. It's over." I ain't mad at people though because you got to try. Some people, you never know. A store might, forgot that they had them in the back room and didn't give them out at the beginning of the day, and then all of a sudden you walk in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you find brand new lease on life and you get you a promo. But that's kind of what's been going on with me. And then we're gonna talk about it because it's one of our topics and stuff. But then everybody started coming to my store buying PS5 Pros today. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I found out what's going on. So we gonna talk about that. But that's all I've kind of been doing, man. Just that when we get to this PlayStation topic, it's gonna be kind of crazy. But what about you?
Well, if you look on the Jumbotron, you see some Crimson Desert, and if you've been playing this game and if you fought this boss, maybe the footage you see on the screen may have given you a little PTSD. This is some gameplay from me playing Crimson Desert, and the boss is the Reed Devil, who is it was a pretty cool boss. It was a pretty cool boss fight. I've been playing that for a good amount, and I gotta say, like, I typically don't go for like the big sandbox kind of games because typically their stories are really basic or mediocre, and frankly, this one is no different. The story is pretty basic, is pretty mediocre. That said, uh, I for some reason I kind of have gravitated to this one. It's been kind of strange that I've been playing it as much as I have, and the controls aren't great, although they did make them a little bit more responsive since the update they did a few days ago. But just like the amount of like exploration you can do, and people are always finding new crazy things. There's a fan as a weapon, like literally a fan, that like you would fan yourself with, but it can cause tornadoes. So you just start fanning and it's just throwing tornadoes at enemies. It's ridiculous. There's all kinds of weapons. I've seen people with the craziest drip that you can get, very like awesome looking armors, and then you can kind of like repaint them however you want if you got the right paint for it or the right dye for it. And that's just, I wish I have had the time to be that far deep into it, but I haven't. But I've been playing that. I've been enjoying that. I've been doing a ton of home renovations and stuff, and in addition to, shout out to my daughter who begged me for this vanity like dresser thing. And Forte,
I can only imagine.
putting that thing together, I had no idea what I was getting into. I opened that box and there was like over 200 pieces, and I'm just like, oh, this ain't gonna be simple. Part of the reason why we didn't have a show yesterday is I was still trying to put this thing together, and it just I have to blame the company, because the company, like, they didn't have things very organized in the box. And then it's also partially my fault for not, like, before getting started, just saying, okay, everything that's a piece 33, stack it over here. Everything that's a piece 38, stack it over here. Everything that's piece 15, stack it. I should have did that, but instead, I just was just scatterbrained, just trying to follow the instructions. By the way, the instructions got 0 words, bro. 0 words in the instructions on how to assemble this. Just pictures. And some of the pictures, they only, it's like in one viewpoint, but like, I cannot believe they did this. You're looking at it from like one perspective, but the work you need to do in that step is like on the other side of the assembly, so you can't see what they want you to see. I'm like, who made this? Like, it's like someone was trolling intentionally to piss people off, and they succeeded, because I was mad the entire time. But all that said, all the frustration and anger was worth it when she came home from school and saw it all assembled and working, and she was overjoyed. And I was just like, well,
you felt like a proud papa.
I sure did. I said, hey, that's what you go through all that for. So,
man, the level of what's in it, the level of the level of clapback your daughter was giving you when you was like, it's not your fault. He's like, you was like, he said, this is the company. He said, this is the company. This isn't your fault. This is the company's fault. And then you started talking, and then you said, you know what? No, this is your fault, because you the one that wanted to get this put together tonight. And she said, you said it wasn't my fault. You can't do that. I
I
was
was like,
like,
yes, I can.
I
I was so mad.
I was,
Yes, I can say it was your fault.
yeah,
And
dog.
I will.
As soon as she said that, it's like, oh man, I remember those days, man. I remember those days with my kids when they were younger. It was so fun. It was cute because you was seized and you was like, why is it so many pieces?
I don't get it. I
I was
like
gonna
there
ask
has to
you
be
his.
simpler ways to do things. Like next time there's something like I'm if there's a service to pay someone to suffer through that, I'm paying it. Whatever how much you want? 200
Yeah,
$300? You want yeah, sure, here's the money. Go ahead, do it.
make this
Make it.
happen.
Make this happen. Because
I
I
mean,
don't have to. I don't want to do it. So yeah. So I've been playing. So yeah, that's the reason why the show is tonight. Because by the time I looked up, it was like I don't know what time did I call you Forte? Like 7:30.
7:30, 7:40.
Yeah, I wasn't even close to being finished, and I mean, like I had like one of the rooms. Just it's just pieces strewn everywhere. Could nobody walk in there. I'm just like, you know what, ain't no way I'm getting all this done. And then I haven't even like looked at like what we were gonna, setting up things for the show. I just, let's just do it tomorrow. But so my bad on that, y'all. I'm not the master architect builder of children appliances or, furniture. But it got done. So here we are. And what's the other
We
thing?
get,
Oh yeah,
they
I
forgive you, bro. You're good.
I've been playing this. So over the past week, um, we got put this up here. We got people playing Modern Warfare 2019 again, and
Yeah.
I had to be one of the like. Look, and the game is only $6 on Steam. So I said, "Hey, look, it's $6. Shoot, why not? Let me go ahead and buy it." And then, I was like, "Hey, after I bought it, I bought it, and then I think I bought it last weekend, and then I hadn't played it at all. And then I said, you know what? Let me go in and kind of, see what's up, see what's up. And of course, it runs great on high-end PCs. Like I'm playing it like it was like 4K, 100 and like max settings, 150 something, frames a second, whatever, right? But and it was a little bit of a adjustment to how movement is for that game. It was literally 7 years ago. So it is amazing how much has changed in Call of Duty since then. And people call this one like the last good Call of Duty. And I think a lot of people who say that, they're mostly talking about the campaign.
Yeah, the campaign is really good in
Yeah,
the
2019's campaign's
2019.
pretty awesome. I need to before I
It-
uninstall it, that's definitely something I'm gonna go
if I remember
through
correctly, isn't
playing
that the one
again.
where you go and it starts in a prison?
No, that is
Or is that Modern Warfare 2?
actually I think 3.
That's 3 because that's when you get Makarov off. Yeah, that's 3. You're right. It's
Yeah.
Makarov. Yeah, it's
So,
3.
and I didn't like that one. I hated that campaign. That might have been the last campaign. The way that one ended, that was the like I said, I'm not playing these no more. I mostly play Call of Duty for the multiplayer. I'm not playing these campaigns no more after the way that one. I was like, that was trash.
You said I
So,
am
but no,
not doing this anymore.
yeah, 2019's campaign is pretty fire. And if you go on PC, $6. I don't know if it's still $6 or not. Hopefully it is. If it is, I mean, why not, right? It's that's less than what you spend on your lunch or at Starbucks. And go through that campaign again. But anyway, I started playing the multiplayer. Took a couple of matches to kind of adjust to um the lack of movement. I'm just so now I'm like it's like muscle memory with Omni movement in Call
Mm-hmm.
of Duty where I'm just like sliding around corners, hopping, dashing, drop shotting, all that stuff. And like, yeah, it's not that. It's not that, but the gunplay is still there, and the speed of it all is still there. So like it's good. It's good. It's good. So I did some of that. I've been playing that. What I mean, I feel like there's something. There's gotta be something else I've been playing this week. Oh, Fire Emblem. I've been playing
Jesus
Fire
Christ.
Emblem. Stop it, okay? Stop it. I'm playing Fire Emblem. I am on the Black Eagle playthrough where you side with the evil woman. I don't know why I can't think of names. The evil woman.
The evil woman.
Everyone's played the game, know what I'm talking about. But and I've been playing that like on like the hardest difficulty with permadeath, with all that good stuff, or
Nice.
bad stuff, depending on how you feel about it. Because the frustration is like, oh my god, some of those missions, you're just like, look, I'm trying. Like you get like divine pulses, and those will allow you to, like, if someone dies, you can go back. And some people may say, I ain't never using a divine pulse. Yeah, I ain't one of them people. I will use that thing. But I'm also playing with permadeath on, so if I run out of divine pulses, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I guess we just dying today.
We just out here.
Yeah. And then also I bought the DLC not too long ago. So I'm starting to see some new stuff with the these characters in the DLC, which they're okay. Like they're not really like all that interesting, but they're not terrible. But just seeing some of the like the way that they integrate with the other characters that have been in the base game, and then some of the mysteries that I guess I had about some things that went on lore wise, or things that get answered. So I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, Forte, I don't think did you say what you were playing? What you've been playing?
What have I been playing? I'm trying to think. Have I been playing anything? I beat Resident Evil. I beat Resident Evil Requiem. I beat that. I want to say I beat that.
All right. So, now that you beat it, where do you rank it among all the Resident Evils?
Oh man, that might be one. That might be it right there.
The best one?
Yeah, I did.
Better than 4?
Yeah, I think it's better. Because I feel like 4 already.
Better
this
than
is
2?
Yes, because I think 4. So this is the thing. This is its own story. So going into it, it's like everything is new. Like there's no like homage being, brought back from things that you already knew was going to happen, and you just want to see how they portray it in this game. Like everything was like, yo, this is crazy.
Do I need to buy this now? Do I need to buy this game?
Bro, that game, I love that game, bro. That game definitely will be in the game of the year conversation at the end of the year. It is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It would definitely be.
It's got the Metacritic score, which is what. Look, I was talking about Crimson Desert earlier. As many people who are enjoying Crimson Desert, and we kind of reported on, we're not going to talk about this too much tonight, but like last week we reported on how like Crimson Desert came out. It only had a 78 on Metacritic. Investors got skittish. They lost like a ton of like money due to investors not being too happy about that. They got all their investors back once they announced the game had sold like 3 million.
Yep, sure did. They all came back. They was like, man, we should have never left.
That said, no game below an 82, I think, has ever been nominated for Game of the Year.
No, you're right about that.
On Metacritic. And I think that game that was 82 was Control. Which is interesting because the sequel to Control Resonance is coming out this year too. So I wonder if some pedigree from the previous game may help it get close. But regardless of that, Crimson Desert ain't gonna be in the conversation. No matter how much people are like, this game is amazing, then you got like equal numbers of people saying this game is overrated garbage. So
Well,
it's just
I will say this though. It all really depends on what they do with it on a content loop up until the time that it until that becomes a thing when the voting becomes like paramount. Because if they come out with some updates and really get people behind it, and then the conversation shifts on that game, because we already know game of the year isn't really about what the best, like being nominated for game of the year isn't really the thing that, you know, everybody really talks about. It's the thing that, like, is your game still being talked about like a lot, like throughout the whole entire year? Normally, games that are talked about like that are all, they're just also to get like the best games that year. Like when you see games like Clair Obscur, or you see like Elden Ring that came out in February and people were still talking about it in November. So
but the two games you just mentioned were 90 plus rated games as soon as they launched, though. And Crimson Desert a 78.
But this game, but this game has
remember is,
but this, okay, go ahead.
The thing we gotta remember is who's voting.
Yeah. Oh, well, we
the people
definitely
that are
forget
voting
about who's voting.
are the same people who have a say in its Metacritic score.
True.
And like I said, the lowest nominated game in Metacritic for Game of the Year, sorry, not in Metacritic, but in the Video Game Awards for Game of the Year, Control at 82. Nothing below that has made it. And actually, no, wait. One other game I think has made it, but I feel like it was a special case. It was PUBG. But I think at the time, PUBG definitely probably shouldn't have been nominated, because PUBG was not a beta at the time it was nominated.
Yeah,
it was just kind of like, why is this even here? And then when it officially came out, it was like, this game sucks.
We PUBG. That's why we here. We PUBG.
No, I just kind of feel like it's going to be a game that I agree with. Like the updates they've done so far, great, and the improvements they've made and how responsive Pearl Abyss has been. Like, it could very well be a game that people feel very differently about, and I mean the people that have been basically saying it's not that good feel differently about. It could very well be that in, say, 6 months, right? But I don't think that's really going to change the conversation, especially when we got so many other games that's going to come out later this year that, like, very much would be a part of the Game of the Year conversation. Like I guess Mission Control Resonant,
right?
Grand Theft Auto 6,
GTA,
Fable, just, you know, like potentially Wolverine, like just so many games that's coming that just, you know, Fire Emblem, you know, even though I know that I'm gonna try to speak it into existence, you know, Fire Emblem don't get nominated.
Go with it, still. Hey.
But I just think Crimson Desert is going to be like for that crowd that is already a non-starter for them. But
I don't disagree. I'm just saying I never say never.
I got you.
Because I seen weirder things happen in gaming, and all it takes is okay, let me ask you this. If I remember correctly, what was the Game of the Year nominees for 2014? Let me look it up.
2014. I feel like that was
Game
Telltale's The Walking Dead. I think that
Game
won
of the Year. I'm fairly certain
that that game won.
It was Dragon Age Inquisition won that year.
Oh, Dragon Age Inquisition. Okay.
It was
Telltale must have been 2013.
Yeah, it was Dragon Age Inquisition, Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone. That's the one I was thinking of. Freaking Hearthstone was in the nominee. Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of Middle Earth. So it was only 4. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5 games that year that got nominated for Game of the Year. Huh. Interesting. Yeah,
Sometimes it's
Bayonetta.
5.
Yeah.
Like we've seen more recently 6 because it's been like there've been snubs. There's been so many games that were deserving that like the max they do is 6, but sometimes it ends up being 5. But it hasn't been 5 in a while. But yeah, I mean, it's we'll see how it goes. But you're ready to get into this, man. Let's get into these topics.
Oh man, when you go back and look at some of the game of the year nominees for certain years, it is wild. Like Bloodborne, like the fact that let's think about this. We got remakes for almost either a remake or a sequel to every game on the list for 2015 game of the year. Witcher 3, we're getting a Witcher 4. Witcher 3 won game of the year. Bloodborne was nominated. Fallout 4, we're getting a new Fallout. Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. We got another Metal Gear after that. And then Mario Maker. Mario Maker actually got a Mario Maker 2. So the only game on this list that didn't get a continuation in this series is freaking Bloodborne.
And that's not from Sony trying. That's basically been from software refusing to allow it. Basically.
Yeah, he's saying they don't want to do it. So kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm ready. Let's move on.
All right.
Oh really? Oh really?
Nintendo.
Uh-oh.
Nintendo has announced that starting in May 2026. Starting in May 2026, Nintendo published digital titles exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 will have a different MSRP than the physical version. Now, some people have taken this two different ways. Some people have taken this as if, the physical price is going to stay the same, and then the digital version of games is going to be cheaper. And then other people who live in reality have taken this as
reality
as physical games are becoming more expensive, and the digital price will not change. So which one are you, Forte?
I am on. Well, first of all, they could never get away. Well, I take that back. They could get away. It just really comes down to if people are not still going to support them. But I don't see a future for any company where they charge you more for digital goods than physical goods, because it costs more to manufacture something than it is to pull it out of the data stream and just give unlimited codes to it. So the opposite of that will never be true for the most part, where, outside of like used games and stuff being able to be cheaper than digital copies. Hint why a lot of people were talking about Call of Duty earlier. A lot of people been coming into the store to buy Modern Warfare 2019 because it's $60 on the PlayStation store and on the Xbox store, but you can buy a used copy of that same game for $4.99. Crazy. But literally, it was like I sold more copies of Call of Duty 2019 in the last 2 days than probably the last year, because like you said, SloMo, everybody's going back and playing it, and the used copy is $5 and the digital copy is $60. Now, there's some people that went out there and actually bought that game at $60 on the digital copy. Some people didn't have a choice because they went out and bought an all digital console, so they had no choice. They had to do it. But
which is why you ain't gonna get a choice in the future. I am a firm believer that the PS6 and this Xbox Helix, neither digital one of them they're gonna be digital only. I'm a firm believer in that. I think the only one that you're going to get physical versions of games any further is going to be Nintendo when they come out with a Switch 3 or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Their next piece of hardware is. But no, this is Yeah, man. Like it's definitely a way of them telling you that the price of physical games is going up because they're not going to make digital cheaper. Not in this economy. That's not happening. And this is more of, I think, their not literally like last ditch effort before raising the console price, but it's just basically their way of trying to mitigate rising tariff costs, rising cost in RAM, AI basically ruining everything kind of deal. Like this is them trying to mitigate that a little bit, but what will eventually come, at least definitely sometime before this year is up, is that the price of that this Switch 2 and probably the Switch 1 as well, which is diabolical considering it's nearly a decade old. But the price of both of them going up, I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But no, I do think that, like you just said, that's the thing that nobody wants to really talk about, and the price of, you know, hardware is going up, and the fact that Nintendo hasn't done it yet, kind of, I won't say interesting. I think it's going to happen over the summer.
Yeah, I think that was a supply thing. Cause like, look,
Yeah,
we didn't report on this last week, but they kind of like actually this was mentioned since our last episode, but Nintendo has pulled back on some of their production. It looks like they may
yeah.
have just produced a little. Not saying that the Switch 2 is not selling, but they may have just produced too many units
No,
for the market.
Nintendo had what dog. The fact that you could walk in anywhere last year for the most part for a good 90% of the year until Christmas, you could get a Switch 2. Like the rumors of them making 20 million systems last year was not we don't know any hard numbers on it, but
Hmm.
it felt like they had 20 million consoles. What did they announce that they actually sold so far? I can't remember what they announced.
I don't remember
It's in
off
the
the top of my
teens.
head. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, it's definitely like it's more than what like the Wii U sold and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's
they're
already past
definitely on
that.
pace, or either they've exceeded the pace of the Switch 1 up to this point.
Yeah.
If you kind of look at like the progression of the life cycle of the console, it's either on par or sold more than the Switch 1,
Severely
which sold
surpassed
great.
it.
Which sold great. So
Yeah.
they're in good standing.
Yeah. So
But like
yeah.
I think part of the reason why, look, for example, the reason why Xbox went and raised their prices um, well before everyone else did is that they don't really supply the Xbox Series consoles the way Nintendo and Sony supply PlayStation and Switch.
Yep.
PlayStation and Switch are pretty much sold and distributed in a very traditional way, where you get a whole bunch of units made. You have them stored in warehouses. You distribute them as retailers need them, and you get a whole bunch of supply. Then you re-up with NVIDIA and AMD to get more your APU created so that you can put them and manufacture them in the factories and whatnot. Microsoft is very much, if we need it, we order it
Right.
because they got a different demand, and I think people can just acknowledge that their demand isn't anywhere near the demand of the Switch 2 and the PlayStation
Hmm.
5, and so they just supply what's needed when needed, and that's it.
Hmm.
And RAM prices going up affected them almost immediately because they had no supply because they weren't trying to waste money on a bunch of units that are just going to sit in warehouses for X amount of time that they don't know how long. So they weren't doing
Right.
that. This is now why you're seeing PlayStation 5, which is a topic later on, going up. This is now why you're going to eventually see the Nintendo Switch 2 going up because of how they're running out of the distribution that they had set already with the pricing as it was before. And
Hmm.
now that you need to get more units made, and now you having to shake a tail feather to get some RAM, whatever prices that you got that RAM at, that's going, you're not eating that.
I'm not eating that.
This is the
You
way
eating
the
that?
way these corporate they're gonna pass this on to you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Nintendo trying to get ahead of some of that now by changing the pricing of things. The problem I always have with this kind of stuff is that like there's always an escalation, but there's never a de-escalation. Like these things change like this, and the market accepts it essentially or doesn't accept it, but the market accepts it when things relax, when tariffs are no longer a issue like they are, when the AI bubble finally breaks, which I'm
Yesterday's
hoping it
price is
will
still
soon.
today's price.
Right. They just going to keep it as it was. There's no
Mm-hmm.
going back on things. Especially if the market accepted it. They're just like, oh, okay, great. More money for us.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, sucks. But hey, get yourself a Switch 2. If you were interested in a Switch 2, you might want to go get one now before things change, before May, so that those games are priced the way you would like them to be priced. I always say, um, it's not their price, it's your price. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
price that you feel is an acceptable price is the price that you pay, period. So
Mm-hmm.
if you ain't trying to pay $80, $90 for what's the next one coming out? Yoshi's Playground or whatever the heck it's called. I don't know. If you ain't trying to play $89 to $80 or $90 to play Yoshi, you don't play $80 or $90 to play Yoshi. When it goes on sale, you pick it up. That's how you feel about it. That's
Yep.
how that if enough people make that kind of decision, Nintendo will pause. But if all you guys go, man, that's messed up. So anyway, I went ahead and bought Yoshi for $120, like they made it. Guess what's gonna happen?
Wow.
All the rest of the games gonna be priced like that. So
You wild for that one.
it's what it is. You ready to jump on the next one, man?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yo, it's some rough times out here, man. Epic Games has laid off 1,000 employees.
Mm-hmm.
And these employees were members, developers for multiple teams within Epic Games. But the reason cited by Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, is that this
more money.
happened. Oh yeah, actually, it's a little bit worse than that for them. I mean, sure, they need more money. It's rough times out here, but this was due to a significant drop in Fortnite engagement in 2025 as the reason. So if Fortnite finally is starting to lose steam here, because Tim Sweeney claims these layoffs are not due to AI, okay, they are, and they're also shutting down modes that these teams were supporting. So the modes that you can no longer play in Fortnite are rocket racing, festival, battle stage, and those ballistic modes. I think one of them was kind of like their version of Valorant. I think that was like one of those like ballistic modes.
Yeah.
All that stuff is going away, and there's no teams to support that, and it looks like they're just sticking to the bread and butter. And look, I have to admit, I barely play Fortnite now. I barely play it. Like I jump back in when I hear of a cool skin that's coming in. Like most recently, where did I buy recently? I don't even remember. I bought something because it was like, oh wow, that they got that in there now, and I bought it, and then I looked at it, and I was like, I did a couple matches with that skin, and then I turned it off and didn't play Fortnite for like 3 or 4 weeks. Like I barely play. I play it with like my friends and their kids when they want to play, but it's not something that I play on my own no more, which is problematic for them. I mean, that's anecdotal. That's my experience, but it looks like my experience is a lot of people's experience. If they cite a significant drop in engagement, when you kind of lose the narrative and you say you're losing to Roblox and you're losing to I don't know what else are the kids playing these days. All I know is Roblox is something else they play. But when you're losing that battle, it's hard to get people back when they get done with you. Forte, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a blip on the radar, or do you think this is something that Epic has got a serious problem to deal with here?
I don't know if it's a dire problem to the point where it can't be reversed. The thing is, it just seems like they always had a way to stave this off. Like, think about this. Like, this Fortnite is like battle royale wise is about to be a decade old.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10 years. Like, I always try to think and relate it to something that I played. Like, even a game I love to death called Destiny, after 10 years, I was pretty checked out after 8 years, but I just kept playing because I wanted to get to the end, and my play time was still there. It just wasn't as much as it was earlier, and then I still enjoyed it. But once you start seeing the end of it, and you start seeing, like, you don't really see that innovation anymore, and you don't really see like all like the new modes and stuff don't really hit for you, and then you start seeing the PvP side that you like the most, like you like a lot, and it just doesn't seem as fun anymore. You're just doing it just to pass time. Mm-hmm. Then that's when it like, for a lot of people, you're like, it's time to do something else. And then there's other games out there. Arc Raiders is out there. People are playing that now. That's like the new shiny toy for a lot of people. And games are trying to, not trying to say they're trying to catch up and mimic that, but that's like the new hotness when it comes to like those type of games, when it comes to like online community shooters or community games that people play together with other people. That's what it is. Fortnite is still a thing. A lot of people still play it, but I don't want to say it's boring, but I don't hear people talking about Fortnite like that. I remember when people would go into a store looking for Fortnite merch, or they would do those pickaxe drops, like where you would go to the store, buy something, and you get you'll get the pickaxe that would be an in-game item that people would be selling for real money and stuff. So there is a lot of.
I just remembered something. Remember we were talking about this, how they brought Save the World back?
Yeah, they brought that back.
Like, how desperate do you have to be to bring back Save the World, which was the failed original version of Fortnite that never took off? And then you got like community goals. You were like, hey, look, if we get X amount of people playing this, then you guys all get like this skin or that skin. And I mean, like,
they're trying to find a way, because they know they're losing they know that they're losing. I keep saying they're losing it, but they're losing part of the fan base or their player base that's the most important to them, which is their hardcore. They're finding other things to play. Like, for a long time, Fortnite was the game that people played all the time, and they just moonlighted with other games. Now they're starting to see what it's like to be the game that people leave for the next shiny thing. So now they're trying to find a way by either. The only way you can fix that is either by bringing better content that entices your people to come back, finding a way to refresh and shape up the game, to bring people back. And the other thing is by doing stuff like this, Save the World. Hey, how many people out there love, survival games, Save the World? We're going to bring that back. And then, it kind of, like, the people that kind of had that and like forgot all about it, they're like, oh, I'll try it out to see what it's like. They'll give it a try, and then if it picks up for people, then they'll talk about it with their friends. But me personally, I think the only thing that saves Fortnite at this point is not just a refresh of Fortnite. It needs to be another Fortnite. Like, they need to build something from the ground up, Like I understand that they transitioned from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 inside of Fortnite, but the skeleton still exists. It's
the game design is still last gen game design.
It's still saying, yeah, exactly. So the only thing that's going to save this, and it's just like, and I won't even say save it, but the only thing they can do to like bring interest back to it is by making another version of Fortnite and calling it Fortnite 2 or Fortnite Reimagined or Fortnite, whatever they want to do. Just another version of the game to make people feel like this is something new that isn't like what I played before. It might have the same concepts, but that's what they need to do. It's just like with every other game. After it gets so long.
In order for them to do that, they have to do that within Fortnite. Like they have to launch a mode that is now their new main mode that gets the seasons, the new acts and everything, the new all that stuff.
They can do that too. Yeah, they can do that too.
Because here's the thing is that what you're pretty much asking people to do is stop playing the version that they have, the ones that are still there, right? And part of the problem with that is that you're going to lose some people in the transition over, and they're already at a point right now where they're losing players, they're losing engagement, and they're afraid of that. Which is also supposed to be the year that they were going to cut off last gen.
Yeah.
Are they still going to cut off last gen, knowing that you're losing engagement before you already did that? So imagine if people are less enthused to play Fortnite. They don't care about playing the game as much as they used to. And then the next season comes out and it's not on PS4. It's now Xbox One.
Right.
Are they going to buy a new console that is like $150 to $200 more expensive than it was at launch? And they didn't buy it then. They didn't find the need to buy it then. Are they going to buy it now? I don't think so.
That's a hard sell.
It's a hard sell for someone who already didn't find value in going to current gen, but now they're kind of being forced to go into current gen because their current hardware is no longer going to support the game that they play. But if their interest in the game has waned, you might lose them. You know, they just may say, "Hey, whatever." Then I'm not spending what $600 on a PS5. $500 on the Xbox Series S. I'm not spending that money just to play Fortnite.
Right.
And so here you're like, I think this might be Epic might be the one publisher that's a holdover beyond this year to continue on with last gen because they feel like they need to. You know, it's pretty sad. Like I said, I barely play it now. Like I play it like this gameplay on the Jumbotron is me and my one of my friends' son playing the game. Like his son's been playing this game since he was like 8 years old. He is
bodying people. He
is ridiculous in this game. And guess what he plays it on? Guess what he primarily plays it on? A freaking Switch 2.
I try to tell you, bro. I try to tell you, those Switch 2 gamers, bro.
I could never. Ain't no way I'm playing this game on the Switch 2. But this kid be killing it on there. And like he, you know, I played with him, you know, he's pretty much the only person I really played with. Like his own father, my friend, for years. He don't play it anymore. He's playing Arc Raiders and Grounded 2. And my son quit playing the game, so he don't want to play it no more. Like, there's just almost no one I know now that plays Fortnite anymore. And sure, like I said, that's anecdotal. But when I used to constantly see people in this community, not really like so hyped for Fortnite, but like I could name quite a few people who played Fortnite consistently and pretended like they didn't. Just like, yeah, you know, you Fortnite gamer. You a Fortnite gamer too, bro. You play it.
You said you a Fortnite gamer too, bro.
Like, you play the game. Yeah, but like now, like legit people don't play the game no more. So it's interesting. It's interesting how it'll all play out. Yeah, I wish them the best, but I think they are at a place where they've been kind of resting on their laurels for a while, and I think what bit them in the butt was how they canceled game development on all games that were currently out, as well as games that were in development, in order to support Fortnite and to put all their eggs in one basket. And that worked great for a long time. They made a ton of money. They went from just a regular, smaller time publisher to a major publisher. Yeah, they got their own storefront now. They're fighting Apple and Google and court and everything. They're doing all this stuff, and they're at a kind of, I think, a crisis point. I agree with you. You gotta come up with something different. But I feel like whatever they come up that's different, they gotta kind of do what they did with Fortnite Save the World. When they came out with Battle Royale Fortnite, it was the same launcher.
Yep, it was.
I remember trying it out when everyone was like, "This is it. This is it. Like, this is way better than PUBG." And you would launch the same game. It would choose, like, if you own Save the World, you would go in and it'd be like Save the World or Battle Royale. They gotta do that. Like, they gotta come up with something new. And the problem, somewhat of the problem, is that, like, they didn't come up with Battle Royale. They saw PUBG's popularity and said, we could do that too, especially since they're using our game engine. We can just use all the same assets, and the same ideas and roll with it.
Right.
But what are you copying now? I don't think there's anything out there that's like a new phenomenon for them to copy, but
yeah, that's true.
it is what it is, man. All right, anything else you want to say on this before we move on?
Nope, that was it.
All right. Wait, whoops.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Capcom.
Capcom.
Yeah. Capcom's funny. Capcom is funny because they came out with a statement over the past week. Last week we were talking about DLSS 5 and generative AI and how, the whole discourse around it, overwhelmingly people hate it, yada, yada, yada. Capcom says it will not use, in a statement over the past week, it will not use generative AI technology for in-game assets.
BS.
But they will use it on other areas of game development, like graphics, sound, and programming. In other words, they're definitely going to use AI, a whole lot of it.
A whole lot of it.
They're using a whole lot
we need
of it.
We need to get this cost down.
and yeah, they're going to be working with DLSS 5. If you think that, all the reaction or backlash is going to change anything. It ain't really. Them saying they're going to use it with graphics, that's the whole DLSS 5 side of things, to a degree. Sound, I'm not certain how you use it for sound. I'm not that well versed in that. But programming, look, I work in IT, and I'm fortunate that I'm a network engineer, where it's not so easy for AI to do the things that I do. But when AI started to get bigger, one of the first things that AI was doing is not quite there yet, because you see tons of mistakes happening, and a lot of the really idiotic updates you see sometimes that break things is due to the fact that a lot of these companies are using AI to fuel the programming of these updates. But programmers are one of the first people in tech to get replaced, because look, I could tell you right now, I do a little bit of it. Like, I know a little bit of C++, a little bit of C#. I can do Python scripts and stuff like that. Like, I can do all these things, but like, you could just ask an AI to give you basically a general framework of what the code is supposed to be. and then go in and really kind of like take care of the rest of it to tailor it to what you need it for. I could have AI write me a script. You know, hey, I need a batch file made. Am I going to write this thing? Or I'm gonna ask AI to do it and then I can implement it in like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes. Like, I'm not saying that's what I do, but that's what a lot that's where when companies see how easy certain tasks can get done, they say, hey, I don't need all these people no more. I could just go with a third of those people and then just have AI do the rest. And that's what's happening. So we see that in the gaming side of things as well, especially with Q&A. Because multiple developers have come out and said with Q&A, that quality assurance thing, finding bugs, fixing bugs, they can have an AI do that now, and that's that costs less people, less benefits, less people who need to take off, and less mistakes being made as far as finding certain things and fixing them. You know how long it takes to fix them, that kind of thing. Like, this is what it is. Forte, what are your thoughts about Capcom?
I mean, they came out with one of the best games in the Resident Evil franchise, and then they come out and say they come out here and bald face a lot of people and tell them they ain't gonna listen. This is, I get it. And the thing is, they want to say that because they know the temperature in the room is hot. A lot of people are not really jiving with the direction that AI, generation and stuff is going. But I'm sorry, it's the future right now. It's like, if you want developers, if you want costs and the funny thing is the thing, is costs really gonna come down? Because this goes back to the whole conversation you were saying earlier. Once people get used to paying certain prices, are we ever going to go back to where those prices are any cheaper? So just because, right now game development is still on average, Jason Schreier talked about it. It was during the his talk about with Bungie and everything with Marathon. And he's talking about like how most games, it seems like it's on average that most AAA games are anywhere from like 250 to $300 million to create those games. They're trying to find a way to cut into that by, alleviating stuff with AI. But the problem is AI costs money too. You still got to have somebody there to manage it, to maintain it, to upgrade and build on top of it. It's not like a thing that just evolves itself. Even to an extent it does, but it takes a lot of time to do that. And the way that these companies are operating, those razor thin margins, sometimes they don't have the time. So for them to say, yeah, right now you may not use it in all of those different things, but right now and tomorrow are two different things. When you talk to your investors a year from now, talking about how you're going to implement the money that you spent in your AI development, and you start telling them like, this is what we're going to do, these are the games that's going to be implemented in, these are some of the things that we're looking at, that conversation is going to be completely different. So once again, I don't think it's anything to be super alarmed with now, but I do find it a little disingenuous to say that we're not going to use it in this, but we are going to use it in these other things, which are pretty much going to end up being the same thing by the time that time comes around.
Yeah. I also kind of, when it comes to, Capcom talking about how they're defining how they're going to use it. I appreciate them being honest about that. But, there are a lot of developers that aren't going to be honest about that. And there's also a lot of publishers that are going to demand to do a lot more than what Capcom is intending to do. So I do kind of wonder, like it's like a balancing act, right? Because technology advances and things become easier or more efficient due to how technology improves. And so we already were complaining about how long it took games to be made. Like a game taking 6 years, $300 million And with this, and for a lot of people who don't understand the large number of the cost of like something being a $300 million AAA game that took 6 years to be made, a significant amount of that cost was the actual salaries of the people who worked on it, the outsourcing of contractors, more people, their medical benefits, their families' medical benefits. You know, someone needing PTO and you're paying them. I mean, it's these are benefits. You know, you got to do it. Yet at the same time, that's time they're not actually working, right? And so AI ain't got those issues. It's not going. It don't got medical benefits. It's not taking time off. It's working when you're ready for it to work. And it can get things done in some aspects quicker than something else. And like we see it in almost literally everything. Like every game that comes out, we talked about this last week, you know, for almost every game, you know, like people talking about PS5 Pro, and what's the big feature of PS5 Pro that everyone talks about? PSSR 2.0. That's machine learning upscaling. Sony working with AMD to get their machine learning AI upscaler more efficient and making sure that it is hitting the target resolution from a starting resolution and displaying all those pixels accurately and anti-aliasing it without ghosting and all the other issues. Denoising the image when ray tracing is on and whatnot and doing it accurately. All that stuff, machine learning, AI. We see some of these games. I saw people citing, you know, hey, look, Kojima didn't need no AI to make Death Stranding, but he did use AI with MetaHuman, with the faces. And MetaHuman is Epic's software, but they use AI for that too. Like it's in everything. It's being used in everything to a degree. And so I get people who are just super anti-AI, and maybe I went a little far calling y'all Amish gamers last week, but you gotta kind of come to terms with where things are going. And sure, we want to make sure that human creativity is the source of everything. Like we need to make sure that like you're not getting the slop where it's generic. Like you ever had like you could go to AI, any AI bot out there, be like, hey, write me a story. Write me a story of a young boy, you know, coming of age. He leaves home, goes out on an adventure, and whatever, right? And see what, you know, what it makes. It'll write you a story pretty quickly. It's gonna suck though. It's gonna be a bad story. Because creativity, in like the kind of creativity that creates great content, it ain't got it. And I know there's some people who think that, yeah, AI get there on that. No, it won't. Because it can't, it's being trained off of what humans do. And if it's basically taking human ideas and then trying to create something based off of human ideas, it's missing the key ingredient, which is humans. It's missing that. And so those things, we always want to make sure that it's human beings that are the source of it all, that's directing it all, that even when they use AI, that it's humans that are overseeing, supervising it, and then deciding, okay, that's not good enough, let's try again, or let's, you know, let me actually go in and maybe fix this myself, that kind of stuff. But I think people got to kind of come to terms with where things are going, and that in a way like this. Just keep it a buck. You want your games faster. Like everyone, Forte, you were just talking about Resident Evil Requiem, about how it's going to be in the Game of the Year conversation, how you think it's the best Resident Evil that ever came out. You probably can't wait for the next Resident Evil, right?
No, you right.
Now, what if you could get Resident Evil 10? You know what's funny? The footage I'm playing on the Jumbotron is I ain't have no Resident Evil footage. So I found a review I did of Resident Evil 3 and I got all kinds of funny stuff in there. Anyway, I just had to skip ahead. What if you could get Resident Evil 10 in 3 years instead of 6 years? But in order to get you the same game in 3 years, they had to use a lot of AI to do so. Are you down with that?
Honestly, let's be. I'm not one of those people that feels like games can't use AI. I just want, as long as it isn't as intrusive to the point where I feel like it's a detriment to the game, I could care less how a game gets made. I understand that cost measuring has to be put into place, but I don't want it to change the experience of the game that I'm used to enjoying. That's how I look at it.
This is how I'm afraid human beings are still supervising everything. They're not just throwing it, say, hey, AI, they're not just doing prompts. AI, do this, do that. Yeah. It does it, and they throw it into the game engine. They throw it into the build of the game. They say, hey, debug this to make sure there's no bugs. AI does that for them too. They don't check anything, and then they just throw it out there. No, human beings are looking at every phase of it. They're just kind of
they're still going through quality assurance and everything, and yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, honestly.
Okay. And I think most people don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Just, and developers will hate this. I would say probably a lot of people that we know who work in the industry will hate this.
Yeah.
But largely, when it comes down to it, most people would be fine with it, because what it's going to result in is getting the same high quality game faster.
Yep. That's cheaper, all that matters. Yep.
Which might also equal more games coming out. Because that publisher who would have spent $300 million on that game now is probably spending maybe 125, 150. Yep. What are they doing with that other 150 that they had budgeted? They could use that towards something else. Probably, I mean, honestly, probably just
man, put that in the coffers.
Right. Shout out to Umbra in the chat. He says sign me up if it still turns out to be high quality. Exactly.
That's all that. Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah. It's nothing wrong with AI as long as it's done well. Like I said, if you give me the same game and the same experience, and you say pick the one that was done in AI and pick the one that was done with human factors all the way through with no AI used at all, as long as the games are the same, I played them and it was identical, I could care less. I could care less. Now, I think this is the thing. I think a lot of people equate when you say AI, like when it comes to like my friend, your friend, Ramon, Trevor Burson, AI in his industry, I feel like it's harmful because that does take away from the experience of the person, the feelings that are being portrayed. I don't care how great, especially off of what we see now, I can look at a video and say, that looks incredible. Speaking of which, did you see Dark's video when he said this was all created in AI when he was on the beach?
No.
So he posted a video earlier this week, and he was like he was just talking about the overall, saying like how AI is taking over, how you got to get used to it. This was everything you see on the screen behind me is generated AI. And at first I was sitting there like, there's no way this is AI. This looks way too good. But the more and more I watched it, I started convincing myself that this is AI, until the moment he turned the curtain, was like, and guess what? Nothing is going to look as great as God's own creation. God created this, and he tanned the camera, and I was like, I knew this wasn't AI. But guess what? The fact that when I was watching it and I started believing it in my mind, because I know AI is capable of things like that, I just stopped caring. Like I as long as it looks like that, as long as it's very discernible to exactly what I see and what I'm experiencing and what I feel, I don't care. But the moment that I feel a disconnect and I feel like the experiences aren't the same, and that's why I think movies and cinema are nowhere near where they need to be, because you still haven't harnessed that overall passion and ability that an actor can bring to a role. But in the video game, it's all computer based. It's all ones and zeros. How you get to those ones and zeros doesn't matter to me. If you could do it and get more games out the door faster by giving me the same great experience with less time being developed, being allocated to it, sign me up for it. Does that hurt some developers and some people's job security? Absolutely. But every day, the world is getting better and better at the things that it was good at before. The things you were good at 20 years ago, people have mastered that at half the time that you mastered it. People that are going through law school are learning law faster than a person that went to law school 20 years ago, because the systems and everything available to them is making it easier. Like the fact that you can pull up, like 20 years ago, could you imagine 20 years ago being able to dictate to your phone, to write a professional email, to make your letterhead, to make a resume that speaks to all of you, and you don't even have to tell it. You just say, I was at this job for this. This is my role. These are the things that I did, and just put bullet points up there, and then just say, write this resume, write a professional resume, and it will give you one of the best resumes out there, bro. Things that took 20 a day to do, literally you could do in 10, 15 minutes now. So who doesn't want to sign up for that? We just don't. But the thing is, we don't want to lose the passion and stuff that video games have built into them, because we feel what those, we feel what the developers are trying to tell us. Like when I played Mass Effect and I did the suicide mission, I felt what was being portrayed to me on the screen and the loving care that was happening there. And as long as I can still get that, if I could get that same Mass Effect experience by a studio of over 600 people, and I can get it from the same studio that has 200 people because they're using AI to generate it, I have no problem with that.
And I think I agree with what you're saying. I think those who fear the level of quality falling, or like the entire industry going in a certain way, like I think they also got to understand that like the industry has never been something where everyone follows the same paths. It's not like that now. Like for example, you got high quality games that come out and don't use any upscaling. They don't need it. You don't get every game that like take DLSS 5 for example. People are like, yeah, well, how would that work in say how would that work in a game that has like a cell shaded game, or a game that has like hand drawn visuals, like a certain particular art style, and we always recognize that those kind of games over time, their visual aesthetic stays pleasing longer because it's not going for a photorealistic look. Photorealism always looks great, right, in the beginning, and then as things become even closer to photorealism later on, you realize, man, that don't really quite look it like the old that other thing didn't quite look as good as I thought it did back when it came out. Like, you're not going to get AI doing that, and nor are we going to see smaller developers using AI for that. For example, Hades 2 was a Game of the Year nominee. Fantastic game, came out last year, right? On Switch and Switch 2 and on PC. It's coming out on Xbox and PlayStation in like a few weeks.
Yep.
And that game on PC, there's no upscaling.
Yeah.
But you don't need upscaling. I play that game at 4K, like 200 frames per second. It doesn't need that. But it looks great. It plays great. You're going to have games that aren't going to need any of those things, and or teams that are, maybe you'll have some teams that are so small they do need to use AI or whatever in order to achieve a certain vision that they have for the game. But you're also going to have teams that just like, yeah, we don't need that and we're not going to use it. It's part of the reason why we see so many developers who are like a part of much bigger publishers and studios decide to leave to do their own thing, because they're tired of just making whatever the industry feels like is popular right now. They want to do their own thing. Goes back to how I've always felt about creativity and people saying, oh, well, the industry's dying because of live service, but like, all right, but what games are doing great, selling great, and winning Game of the Year? They're not live service games. So it's just like there's always going to be a place for everything. And for just long story short, people don't need to get into this kind of, I would say, not fear mongering, but like doom and this is what true doom and gloom is. I see a lot of people use doom and gloom as a way to dismiss actual concerns with stuff. But I would say true doom and gloom is acting like an entire industry is going to go by the wayside simply because of advancements in technology. Now, everyone's going to use it. It's just not the way things have always been. And since we're on the topic of Capcom, why don't we just go ahead and talk about the other thing that apparently has come out from them. Capcom is it's claimed that Capcom is working on a Resident Evil Code Veronica remake, and that Code Veronica remake will be directed by the same team that did Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 4 remake, which are out of all the remakes, those two have been the best ones, or at least the best received ones. The footage I'm showing you is from Resident Evil 3, which was not all that well received, but I liked it, which is probably the reason why most people didn't like it, because I felt like they gave me the most ammo in that game.
I remember us like was like, this game ain't scary. I got a lot of ammo.
I was like, I got 5,000 rounds, man. Let's go. No, I've also kind of heard. So I don't know how true this rumor is, because I've heard that Resident Evil 5 is next, based on the voice actress for Shiva, whatever her name is, from Shiva from Resident Evil 5, saying there might be something coming on the horizon. That might be actually the Resident Evil 3 team doing that. That would kind of make sense. The 2 team did 2, and then the 3 team did 3. And then the 2 team did 4, so it would make sense that the 3 team would do 5. If I think it would make sense. So and if it's the 3 team, then they got me, because I'll be there. Hopefully they give me tons of ammo in Resident Evil 5. But anyway, I'm probably gonna anger a lot of people by saying this. I'm not a big Resident Evil fan, but I have looked at like a synopsis of their stories. Code Veronica has the dumbest story in any Resident Evil game I've ever seen. Like I'm literally like reading the synopsis, and I'm just like, people like this? Like this is bad, and maybe it's a product of its time, and people just didn't care about stories that much. But you're gonna have to update this. Like you can't come out with Requiem, which is fantastic and has like a well-told story, and to come out with some BS like they got in Veronica. I'm sorry. You can't do it. You just can't do that. So like some of the stuff that I yeah, and that might anger some people because I've seen so many people like, oh, they need to do Code Veronica next, and I'm just like, I mean, like considering how when they in some of these remakes, some things have changed, and they don't include everything. Like in three remake, they didn't include the clock tower, which pissed people off, and they also didn't they had like Nemesis was he doesn't like randomly attack you. Like it's not random at all. It's very much scripted. And so when it happened, I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. Like when it was happening. But for a lot of people that expected more, they were disappointed. And so I kind of feel like in order to make Code Veronica not look very dated, despite it visually looking amazing, because RE engine is great. It's way better than Unreal Engine, right? Umbra in the chat. Instead of it like feeling dated because it's like a dated story that's kind of stupid. They're gonna have to do some significant changes there. What do you think about Code Veronica coming back as a remake?
Like it wasn't one of my favorite ones. I think that they should. I mean, all of those older ones with those terrible tank controls definitely should be the ones that they upgrade and bring up first. But I highly enjoyed, and I know a lot of people looked at Resident Evil 5 as it was like kind of before everything fell off the rails with 6 and they went full action movie with Leon.
Yeah,
but
that was a mistake, and I think they recognize they'll never do that again. Like you can't just go full on action like that. Also, Resident Evil 6's story might be as bad as Code Veronica.
It's bad, bro.
It's pretty stupid. It's pretty bad. I mean, like, look, Resident Evil's kind of stupid in general. Like, who decided, hey, look, in order for you to clock out today, in this facility, you're going to have to find a key that's inside the statue, and then you're going to have to go to another statue and then like set up the dials by the signs in the stars in the sky to get the third key, and then you gotta go get a gorilla monster on steroids to get a crystal and put them all into a door so you can go home. Like, why is any of this stuff here? Because clearly, like, if you were the person who worked there normally, like, why is it that in a disaster emergency situation, all these people that you're playing as end up having to do all this dumb stuff in order to just get through a door? And it's just, I mean, look, it's Resident Evil, everyone just deals with it, but it's pretty stupid.
It is. It's very stupid. I don't disagree with you on that. I think for the most part, a lot of people turn their brains off when it comes to Res. I think it's starting to come back a little bit more when you started getting into Biohazard, Village, and now Requiem, where people are like, it's like they're doing a really good job tying the cinema into the horror side of it. The VR, I'm surprised they haven't done another VR mode. I mean, I guess because a lot of people aren't using the VR like a lot of people thought they would use. But But that was something that I always thought about too. Because I always felt like watching people play Resident Evil in VR was like, first of all, I don't know how you're doing it because
Yeah, I know I wouldn't.
I can't do it. I won't do it. But no, I don't dislike them doing Code Veronica if it's the case, because it's one of the few games that came out that long ago where the controls were terrible, the story was terrible, and it could definitely give new life to that game in general. But there is so many other Resident Evils that I'd rather them go back and redo, like 5, because 5 was one of the few co-op ones next to I think it was Revelations that you could do in co-op. But
Really?
I think so.
I think I actually played Revelations.
I think you could do Revelations in co-op. I can't remember. I know
I may have played one or two. I can't. Jill.
Well, I know Jill was
in that.
in that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
did it take place like on an island?
Part of it. Did I think it was like a ship too?
Yeah, I played that one. I played
Yeah.
I played part of it. I tapped out after a while, but I remember playing that one.
He said I tapped out after a while.
I don't remember it being co-op though. I thought that was just single player.
It might have been. I know there's 2 Resident Evils that are co-op, and I know 5 is the main one that everybody knows. I'm trying to think of what the other one. I thought it was Revelations, because one was I remember because Revelations first came out, I believe, on 3DS, if I remember correctly. Then they brought it out on consoles after that because they had to redo it. Because that was a 3DS launch title, if people didn't know. But but that's it.
Yeah. Look, if they come out with it, and if it really is the RE2 and RE4 team that's doing it, that's probably going to be fantastic. Because the remakes, they've been the ones that have made the best ones. So putting them on one of the worst games, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure some other people may disagree, but like putting them on that game might actually do it a lot of favors. Oh, good grief. It's ridiculousness going on in the chat right now. Let's get into our final rapid fire, and then we can get into the main topics. You ready?
I am ready.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
So Microsoft is also getting in on that dynamic pricing game that everyone seems to love so much. Recently, people have noticed that there is a change in pricing for hardware for consoles targeting Xbox One users, where they're offering a quote-unquote just for you discount on Xbox Series X and S consoles for people who are still actively using an Xbox One. And in these discounts, they have the Series X reduced up to like 50% off. So it's like $300, $350 some dollars to get a Series X. And hey, look, oddly enough, I'm just going to say this before you go, Forte. Oddly, some of the same people who were calling out Sony for doing this with games, apparently don't have a problem with Xbox doing this for hardware. It's odd, because like, what if you, who owned a Xbox Series S, wanted to upgrade to an Xbox Series X, but you just maybe didn't have the funding to do so? Wouldn't you want they potentially have that 50% off discount? It's just odd that they're only giving that to certain people. Because dynamic pricing, apparently it's okay when one side does it, but not the other. Forte, what are your thoughts about this?
You are messy.
Am I? I'm being honest. That's all.
No, no, you are being honest. I mean, but the thing is like, what is that? Like I always told you, people don't remember what they said 10 minutes ago. They definitely, if they don't,
absolutely.
they definitely don't remember what they said 2 weeks ago, and they for sure don't know what they said 5 years ago. But guess what? They remember everything that everybody else said. They remember what everybody else said 5 years ago, but they can't even remember themselves. But dynamic pricing. I ain't gonna lie. The more and more that this stuff happens, the less and less I care about it, because the biggest thing that really comes from it is the fact that the only way it's going to be a thing is if people support it, and if they feel like they can get away with it, they're going to do it. The more and more, like, okay, I'm gonna equate this to something that I participated in the most in Pokemon. The fact that right now pricing is the way it is on certain things in the aftermarket, and the reason prices don't go down on things is because everybody FOMOs over everything. Anything that releases, everybody gets bought up. So when you go into your local store to find something and you don't see it, and then you go out and spend 50, 30, if something costs $40 and you spend $80 on it because you want it, people see that and it makes people want to do it more. It makes people want to go out of their way and camp out in lines to, get it so they can offer it to the next person for $40 to $50 more. Corporations operate the same way. The more, if they see that something's working, they're going to keep doing it until people say it's not going to work anymore. Like, go think about Xbox in the first price hike that they tried to do with Xbox Live, and everybody fought back, and then guess what? Not even a weekend went by, and they went back and reverted all of that. But guess what happened later on, 5 years later? Once everybody got used to it, SloMo, everybody got used to having the service and being, a part of the service, and they had 5 or 6 years, and people weren't even affected by it yet. So this is the thing. I still am not affected by the price of Game Pass going up because I still have like 9 months left on my subscription. When they announced that, I still had over a year left because it didn't affect me. So it wasn't a big deal. But now that it's about to affect a lot of people, Microsoft basically, people complained about it, but do you see people, going out, beating down doors about, paying more for it? You see people going out here finding every little corner of the world that's got a Kroger's or a CVS that still have $20 cards so they can continue their subscription, when they kept saying, like, if Microsoft raises the price, I'm going to cancel my subscription. Okay, but they didn't.
Hold on. Before let me use an example for you real quick.
Go ahead.
Just imagine this. Just close your eyes and I'm gonna paint a picture for you. You walk in the store. It's your favorite store. You there every week. You show up annually. You matter of fact, it's a restaurant. This is your favorite restaurant. They got the best chef in the town.
Man.
You about to get your favorite meal. You done showed up. You mouth watering and everything. You can't wait. It's been a long week. You about to grub. Yep. And then like the manager of the restaurant sees you. Hey, what's up, Forte? How's it going, man? And then he sees someone behind you. This guy's name is
Devontae.
Devontae ain't been there in a year.
Yep.
And so, as in mid-sentence greeting you, he stops, sees Devontae, and says, "Oh, excuse me, Forte. Go sit at your usual table. Get out of here." Devontae, oh my God, so glad to see you. Hey, look. Because it's you, and I haven't seen you in a while, your meal's half off. And you like over there like, Well, damn, we that's what we doing. We just giving half off meals over here. You know,
Man, I ain't seen you in 20 years, man. I need you
I'm here all the time. No, we ain't giving you half off. Okay. Matter of fact, you keep talking, we're gonna start charging you for refills. Sit your butt down.
Refills.
And give your order to your waitress and shut your mouth. Devontae, sorry about that. Sorry this guy interrupted you. Tell me how you been. Matter of fact, you got his table. You go ahead and sit down, Devontae. Like, they basically treating other people who have not been as faithful as you.
Yeah, they are.
Like kings. Giving them discounts on hardware.
Yep.
To convince them to come over the current gen. Them people, they
come on home.
If you in 2026 still playing on the Xbox One, you do not care about quality.
Whatsoever. I believe. I definitely believe
on that. 2013 technology on a hard drive. Your load screens are so long, you just get up and go make a sandwich.
Your load screens got load screens.
Your load screens is the time where you decide, hey, you know, I'm just going to read a book. I'm going to read a chapter, you know, while I wait for this next screen to load up. This is the kind of stuff that you're dealing with. These are not people that care about the hardware. But I think you're probably more likely if they had said, you know what, this year, we going half off on the Xbox Series X. Or maybe just do it for a limited time period. From April 5th to April 28th. Xbox Series X and S half off. And sure, maybe some people just like, I don't want it. I don't need it. But I think the people, you might get far more people who are like, I already got one, but I would like to have a second console. And will actually buy another one for their kid, put it in a different room. Maybe they want something in the bedroom or in their office, not in the living room. Then the guy that's on 2013 hardware, still playing Madden and 2K, and yeah, those games aren't getting updated for last gen, and they're going to need new hardware. If they're going to need new hardware, like the guy who plays 2K, Forte, you know this, that guy spends like $1,000 on 2K every year. You think he can't afford to go buy a new console that's full price on his own? Not saying, you know, with these prices that he should have to, but it is what it is. They can spend that money. They don't value the hardware. So why are you rewarding them? I just find it odd. So dynamic pricing, I'm not a fan of anyone who does it. I don't like seeing on PlayStation, oh, you know, you could get this game $5 cheaper for one person compared to the other. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
You do a sale for everybody. Don't be using, you know, some kind of AI algorithm to determine that like Forte is more likely to buy it at a cheaper price than SloMo is.
But SloMo, when you get those little targeted emails about, hey, we missed you. You haven't been here in a while. How about you come back over here?
There's a reason why you miss me. and giving me a sale on a game I don't want ain't going to bring me back. But maybe reward the people that have been there with you. And maybe, you know, hey, look, I was going to get the Ghost of Yote, but I've been playing other stuff. But hey, now that you put it on sale for me, I'm in there like swimwear. Instead of being like, oh well, you know, you haven't bought a game all this year, and you don't even engage on the platform. So here's a discount. Maybe no. Look, you make that discount for everybody.
Someone will say, here's a discount. No, we don't do that here.
Look. I'm not saying I'm anti-discount. I'm anti-targeted discounts only for certain people.
I'm about to say because I'm just don't sit here and say that if they. But it's the thing, SloMo. Everybody wants a deal. When people sit here and say, "Oh, I'll pay full price for this," no, you don't. You only paying full price because you have to pay full price. If they put a cheaper price in front of you, you're gonna pay that cheaper price.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even. And it's the thing. I agree with you. I don't say you have to agree with targeted marketing or sales and stuff like that. But the thing that really just being a realist. It doesn't have to even be something that takes time. It can be the fact that Microsoft sees you've been an Xbox Live supporter for, they see how long you've been on Xbox Live. They say, oh man, you've been with us since the beginning and you haven't tried Forza Motorsport 6 yet. Or not 6, Forza Horizon 6 yet. You haven't tried it yet. It's been out over a week. What you waiting for? Just because you've been a loyal customer for the last 20 plus years, we're going to give you a discount that lasts for the next 24 hours if you want to pick up Forza Horizon 6. And the game just came out a week ago. But the game just came out a week ago. The same that is not different.
It is different.
You didn't buy the game day one because you didn't find value in it.
But you're rewarding someone for engaging in your platform for a long period of time. That's different.
No, it is not, because that discount is only given to you because it was targeted based on you being a lifelong supporter of PlayStation of Xbox. So we're not going to give the same price to another person that already bought the game.
You don't see the difference in rewarding someone who has always engaged and spent money in your platform versus
that should be a
who aren't
feature.
Doing that.
That should be a feature that you should be automatically given by being a person on the platform, like how Epic gives $5 and $10 coupons to people that regularly buy out of their store every once in a while, and they just next time you just pop up in there, you got a $5 or a $10 off coupon. It's the same thing.
But that's for everybody. No, it's not, because everyone gets that.
Not everybody. Not everybody gets. Coupon. No, they don't, because there's been many times that you got it and I did not get that.
I specifically remember when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, and people was like, yo, well, hold up. What is this price that Square Enix trying to hit PC gamers with? Are they out their mind?
Oh, no. Epic went out of their way. Epic was like gave everybody coupons for that.
Yeah, $10 discounts across the board, so that people were not paying whatever ridiculous nonsense Square Enix
was talking about. Yeah, I agree. But it's still the fact that that
was for everybody though.
Yeah, that was for everybody, but there have been coupons that was given to people targeted based on different things inside of the Epic store.
Hey, look, I look, maybe, I don't know. Like whenever I got coupons with Epic, I knew other people who had the coupon too. I don't recall.
No, they gave it to other people. They didn't give it to everybody though.
Are you sure?
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know about that.
There's definitely been times that I have not got a coupon that you got in SloMo.
Have you checked?
Yes.
I don't know if you look. I don't know, because I don't know if you were checking. I don't know.
SloMo, whenever you told me that there were... No, I'm not going to say I was checking all the time, because I guarantee there was times that I got coupons that you probably didn't get. But anytime you said, hey, I got a $5 or $10 off coupon from Epic... I've always got checked
a coupon from Epic so many times. I don't even know what the number is. But every time I got the coupon, I remember talking to people like, yo, that $10 Epic Game Store coupon out. And other people were like, oh, word. And they would check and they would see it too. I've never seen anyone go, I didn't get that coupon.
Okay.
Hey, look, man, I think your daughter went in and
I mean, she stole everything else from me.
She might as well. I mean, hey, look.
Price of PC parts right now. She got to do something.
Oh man! All right, let's get into these main topics here. You ready to do that, man?
Yep.
All righty. So Xbox had a partner preview I can't talk right now. Partner preview program for third parties, and that was
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Had a good number of games. I think it went on for like about 45 minutes or so. You had a good number of games that were already out but hadn't been out on Xbox yet, and so they were coming to Xbox. You had some games that we have seen a few times before kind of come back and show the game again, and we got some brand new games that we hadn't seen yet. Me personally, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't like
you ain't like Bluey.
No, I didn't like Bluey.
You ain't like Bluey? Happy Snaps?
No, I'm good, man. There was only 2 games that I saw that I was interested in, and one of them I had seen already.
Same games I probably was.
The Expanse, Osiris Reborn. The Expanse game is got Mass Effect written all over it. It looked even better than the last time I saw it. And the last game they showed, which is like Artificial Detective, I thought that was pretty interesting. The gameplay, I'm still like on the fence with, but the premise seemed interesting. I kind of want to check it out. They did have like they're getting Hades 2, which is good. That's going to be in Game Pass day 1. It's April 14th. It's Play Anywhere. So if you buy it, you know, you're going to have it on Xbox and on Xbox PC. It probably won't work right on Xbox PC, but it is what it is. There was another game that Dispatch. Dispatch is finally coming to Xbox.
Yep, finally coming
last
to Xbox.
platform to not have it. But Dispatch is awesome. If you only own an Xbox, you'll play that game. I think if you're into kind of like choice-based narrative games, that's one of the best ones really that's out there. So I think you would like that. But everything else I saw was just really not. I'm not saying they were bad games. They just really weren't anything I was really interested in. What about you, Forte? What were you interested in from what were your thoughts on the show overall, and what were you interested in?
It was okay. I would probably say more like a B, like a solid B. A lot of games there that was shown that look really good. A lot of games that was already out that's finally coming to the Xbox. Hades 2 finally coming over. You know, I'm a huge Alien fan, so ADS, Alien Deathstorm looked really, really cool. Looked really good. I like the environmental stuff that they were showing in the game with the wind and the weather. I was like, man, that looks really good. So that's definitely a game that's on my radar. Artificial Detective, yeah, I agree. That game does look really, really cool too. Dispatch, finally one of the very last consoles to get it, which is kind of crazy. But for me, The Expanse, bro, the only thing that hurt me about The Expanse is the fact that it don't come out to 2027. I was like, God, it did. But there is a closed beta that's coming this summer or this spring or this summer, they said, in 2026. So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, just watching that game, I just, like you said, when we saw it the first time, it looked good and I was really interested. I'm bought all the way in now, and you know, Mass Effect all day from what I was looking at that. And honestly, thing is, it made me want, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to go back and watch the show again. Cause I want to do that. I want to do a whole complete watch of that again. But yeah, those are the things that really stood out to me the most. The fact that they had a Serious Sam sighting on screen was kind of crazy. I was like, Serious Sam's been a while. And then what was that game? I think it was it was like Super Meat Boy, and then Voted. So it was a lot of good games that was there that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in or excited, or not excited in. But it was not the best show, but it was a good showing for Microsoft when it came to their partner showcase. I like the pacing. Like, they didn't have people sitting on couches. and talking about games, and they directed you like after each reveal of the game, they said, and if you want to know more, go here to the Xbox Wire to check it out. And I was like, that is awesome.
I mean,
but
also I have a problem.
But I have a problem. Well, I have one problem with one thing. What other than the one thing I got a problem with? You pay all of this money to have these people on your stage, but yet you find it. I don't know why, but you find it that you need to express that all of these games are available on other platforms. Like, why are we talking about? I can understand your own games because that's kind of what you do. But when you got third parties talking about their games on your stage that you either paid money for or have some type of, marketing rights to, and saying that it's also available on PlayStation on your Xbox stream, with your Xbox
what
stream.
Are you doing?
What are you doing?
No makes sense. No sense. You're making okay.
You basically just wasted money.
yeah. Like, why are you marketing games on other platforms that you have zero money in their store? You don't create the product. You get nothing for it. Let that third-party developer talk about all the platforms their game is on. Why are you doing that?
Man, it was the most craziest thing I've ever seen.
Nintendo comes out with a Nintendo Direct. It doesn't matter if Hades 2 is everywhere.
It's only on Nintendo right now.
They just saying it's on the Switch 2 right now. Go get it.
Go get it.
Why? Because that's the only place they're gonna make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
When PlayStation does a state of play and they talk about this, I don't know, Battlefield's coming out, and they're talking about where you can get, more than likely, they could be talking about some promotion. Hey, if you buy Battlefield, you'll get a blue camo or something. Only on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Somehow they're going to get only on PlayStation somewhere in there. You got Microsoft out here. Hey, that game you're looking out for, we got it on Xbox, but also PlayStation and Switch and PC and the Epic Game Store and GOG. Yeah. You can play it on GeForce Now. It's just like, dude, shut up. What are you doing? Do you not know how brands work? Like Forte, I mentioned this so many times to people because like it's a perfect example. Hogwarts Legacy. This game was everywhere. It was on PC, on Xbox, and PlayStation. But PlayStation had the marketing. So many people thought that game was a PlayStation exclusive. Why? Because when they saw commercials for this super popular IP at the end, PlayStation. They didn't say, hey, PlayStation, but also Xbox. You got Xbox. Hey, you can get it there. But also PC. Hey, you can get it there. No, PlayStation. That's it. PlayStation. PlayStation. Why? Because they wanted people to have the idea that if I want to play this awesome looking Harry Potter game, and I'm a Harry Potter fan. I'm not that much of a gamer, but I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And I need to play this game. I guess I go buy a PlayStation. It's just like they don't understand branding. And maybe this stuff is a holdover from the Phil Spencer era, because Asha literally just got there like 5 seconds ago. So maybe, but even then, it's just like, how hard is it to be like, at the end of this trailer, can you not put all these other platforms here? Can you just put Xbox Series XS and Xbox PC and just leave it at that? That's not that difficult. Somebody go into Photoshop and make it happen before this show goes off. Why is it so hard? I mean,
shit was wild. The stuff was wild, bro. I was like, what are we doing? It was crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was wild. But look, no, look, it's anytime you get to see more games is great. Although this show wasn't. I think a lot of the shows they've come out with recently have been good. You know, like the Dev Direct, good. Um, their other stuff has showed their games well. It's a third party show, so the level of quality of the show is really not in their hands, and a lot of the stuff they show likely they need to show because it's in Game Pass, so they probably have some kind of deal in order to get the game in Game Pass. They need to promote the game at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and they did that. It's just like how they do that always seems to be really dumb. Just
Yeah.
it's just not smart to promote other platforms when you're selling this game on your platform. This doesn't make any sense.
But SloMo, their platform, they don't care about the sales on their own platform. That's why they go other places.
Yeah, well, and this is why you are where you are. Let's get into this last topic. I feel like a lot of people we're definitely waiting to discuss this. So we got some interesting news today.
Man, didn't we? I got smacked upside the face with it today.
Umber, it was not funny. That's why I ignored it. Thank you. Anyway, you're gonna forget that. Sony has raised prices again, and Sony is now. They claim this was necessary due to the global economic landscape that everyone's dealing with, and the quote continue. They needed to raise these prices to quote continue delivering innovative, high quality gaming experiences to players worldwide.
That's such a crack of crap.
It's wow. Okay, sure, Sony. Yeah, that is yeah. So
Hey, you know what? Doesn't that this is how you know that's like so PR written and so stupid it doesn't even make sense to the context they're talking in? Because what they just say that one more time. What did they say? Read it one more time.
They said raising the prices it was necessary due to the global economic landscape, and then they quoted to continue delivering innovative, high quality gaming experiences to players worldwide. Yeah, that's definitely like a PR statement.
Does that sound like that equates to a console or a game?
No, I mean you can tailor that to a console, but I do think it's like they told AI to give us a good sounding soundbite that would read well. But like when you're increasing prices like this, there's just nothing you can say that can read well. I would just rather you be honest. Just say, hey, look, man, we tried. These RAM prices is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Man, they got us. The things we had to do. I won't even tell my wife in order to get the RAM prices where they're at right now. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit right for the next week. But this is what we got, okay? So we're gonna have to raise these prices. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I mean, clearly I'm joking. Don't say that. But like, just admit that, hey, look, due to the fact that everybody is going ridiculous over AI, and there's no RAM to allocate anywhere, unexpectedly, we need to raise prices because, sorry, we're not going to eat the L on this. You are. I'm not taking the L because RAM prices suck. You're going to take the L, and I'm going to keep making the money that I intended on making, and I'm going to pass that cost off to you. Sorry. Sucks to suck. But these, to get back to what's happening, they're raising the price of the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 Pro, and the PlayStation Portal. The new prices for those, for the PlayStation 5, it would be $650. That is $150 more than what it launched at. The PlayStation 5 Digital is $600 now, which is $200 more than what it originally launched at. And the PlayStation 5 Pro is a whopping $900, which is an increase of $150 from where it currently is right now. So this is what I will say to you all, to anyone who's listening to this, before April 2nd, when these prices will go into play everywhere. If you have been on the fence on buying any of this stuff, any PlayStation 5 or the digital or the Pro, and you want to upgrade to the Pro from your PlayStation, do it now. As Forte mentioned earlier in the show, he had all kinds of people rushing into GameStop to get the PlayStation 5 Pro. Likely these people were considering it and didn't really want to play the price, or maybe they didn't think it was worth the price. There's that, but they definitely don't think it's worth $900. And they said, hey, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna go ahead and get it now. So if that's you, hey, look, I'm pretty sure GameStop got some crazy discounts on your for trade-ins. Trade in some controllers. Do what you gotta do.
Trade in the lung.
Yeah, but don't spend $900 on a console, because that's ridiculous. And maybe it's just my personal feeling on it. I'll say this and I'll pass it on to Forte. Ain't a single console ever on this planet in existence, in the grains of time, okay? Whether you go into the past or into the future, ain't no console worth $900.
Facts.
So
Facts.
the floor is yours, sir.
So, all right, I'm gonna come at this from a different point of view, because I don't want to beat a dead horse. You already took it outside and shot it with a shotgun. It's already over. But what I'm gonna say is, I find it real interesting that people are such lemons. They do exactly what corporations want them to do. How long has a PS5 Pro been out?
I would say a couple years. Maybe
couple years.
Let me go ask good old Google.
I think it was 2023 it came out, if I remember correctly. I believe.
The PS5
or maybe,
Pro? No,
or 2022. Oh, it's
2024.
Oh, we're in 2026.
Year and a half.
Yeah, we're in 2020. Yeah, we're in 2026. I'm thinking we're in 2025 still. Yeah, 2026. But listen, man. You don't have a Pro, right? You just have a regular PS5, right?
I just got a regular PS5. And
did this announcement FOMO you into feeling like you needed to go out and get a PS5 Pro?
I thought about it for a second.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Why?
Thought about it.
Why?
Because I was curious. Because it was more curious of how much I could get one for if I wanted one. I don't want one. I don't want a Pro. I'm just fine using the PS5 for the games that are exclusive to PlayStation that I can't play anywhere else. I'm just fine using the PlayStation, the regular PlayStation 5. I have a launch one that with the without the little black skid mark in the middle of it, right?
Mark in the middle of the plate.
I got a one from 2020, okay, and I barely use it as is. I have a modified DualSense Edge that is collecting dust, as they say. It's not collecting dust because my house ain't dirty, but it ain't being used.
It was definitely collecting dust.
A modified. Hey, look, stop it. I have a.
It may not be collecting a lot of it. It's just collecting.
It ain't collecting dust because I dust my house, sir. Okay. Anyway, I put in TMR thumbsticks on it. Just because I'm a controller head like that. I could probably name on one hand how many times I've actually used a controller, because I'm barely on my PlayStation right now. But Seros will come out. Seros, I'm going to be using it a lot because that game looks fire. Yeah, can't wait to play it. But the point I'm making here is that I don't have any desire to spend at the time $750. I don't care that it would have been cheaper because I could have traded in my regular PS5.
You can trade in your regular PS5 right now, get a PS5 Pro. If you get a brand new one out for the one you have, it'll be like $401 out the door.
What the PS5 Pro would be 401?
$401 out the door.
No, I'm not spending $400 on that.
Okay, that's what people are doing. But the reason I say
I know people are doing it. But but the thing is that like everyone, if I played primarily on PlayStation, I can understand someone saying,
yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
I can see that too.
Right?
I can see that.
Or I can understand someone a year and a half ago upgrading to the Pro, the same way Xbox gamers upgraded to the Xbox One X with no games.
Yeah, but my biggest thing is
they did it because it was better hardware, and they're not on PC, so they can't play with the best hardware. But you're going to get better performance with it. So if this is where you primarily play, that's what you're going to do. So I get that, but for me, primarily playing on PC, only got my PlayStation for exclusives. Those exclusives still going to work on the PS5. The next hardware I buy from PlayStation would be a PlayStation 6. And that's how I've always been. I'm not a mid-gen refresh kind of dude. I didn't buy the PS4 Pro. I'm not buying the PS5 Pro. Definitely not. I like the fear. Oh man, like I'm telling other people, hey, look, if you were interested in upgrading, go ahead and do it now because you don't want to spend $150 extra for no reason whatsoever. You might as well go ahead and do that upgrade right now.
I just wonder, like, it was like, I just wonder, what were you waiting for? If this was always something that you thought you wanted to do and you just didn't want to, and they forced your hand to do it because it's going up $100 in price. It's like the price is still expensive and you didn't feel like it was worth it at $750. But now it's worth it because it's going up $100. But you're still paying the original price that it was not worth it to you at that time. It's like the math doesn't make sense to me. I get it. I know exactly why, because there are people out there that were on the fence and they were like, okay, I don't feel like it's a benefit, but I still may get it so I can stay more current with the PlayStation platform because that's their primary platform. But I also know there's a lot of people out there that's doing this based on the fact that the price is going up and
it's not going down.
And it's not going down. And
we're probably about a good 2 years at the most away from a PlayStation 6. They're not dropping the price. This is what we talked about earlier with Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
You raise the price, and then this year GTA 6 is coming out. It's only on current gen consoles. It's now on PC.
Right.
So a lot of people are going to be trying to find a device to play this on.
Yep.
And then you're going to have, what if, I'm not saying it's the truth, but what if performance mode on the PlayStation 5 Pro actually does 60 FPS for PlayStation, for the GTA 6, and it's the only console that does it.
Right.
There are people that's like, man, am I going to wait for GTA 6 to come out to get this for $150 more and I got to buy the game?
No, I'm with you. I'm not. That's why that's why the PlayStation's still there.
Like I said, I understand the mentality of people getting it now. What I'm just saying is that, like, the reason why they're likely doing it is that why they waited is they likely didn't find the value in the price point of where it was at for what it is. But now it's gone even higher. And so now they got to be like, hey, look, well, I was going to get it eventually.
No, they weren't.
No,
they weren't. They weren't going to get it. But now because it's $100 more.
Anyone that's buying it was someone who was already thinking about buying that thing.
Oh my God. I don't believe it.
There are 0%. Hold on, Forte. There are 0% people out here who had zero desire to buy a PS5 Pro. find out it's going to be $900 on Tuesday, and decided I'm gonna spend $750 on it.
You might if you were you might be if you're a PlayStation only gamer and you want to and you don't see a PS5 a PS6 in sight.
But I mean, like, that means you had to have been considering it at some point.
Well, I think everybody considered it until they saw the price point of the PS5 Pro. I think a lot of people, like, I was interested in the price. I was interested at one point in the price of getting the PS5 Pro. You were interested in it at one point, but then but us being people that saw the data, saw the performance, had a PlayStation already, saw what the price point was, we was like, no, bro, this ain't worth it.
Pisser 2.0 looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's still a step below FSR 4.1, which is significantly worse than DLSS 4.0 and 4.5. So for third-party games, I'm not going to play it on a PS5 Pro.
Right.
I would only use this for the less than handful actually, of PlayStation exclusives that come out on an annual basis. That's not enough for me to justify even like the $400 I will be eventually spending after trade-in and after all that. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, but the thing I'm saying is, for a lot of people that was the case, and FOMO has kicked in real. I just believe there's more. Like people can change their mind. Money changes all equations. It's a reason that it's part of math. When the math doesn't make sense, you don't feel like it's worth it. But now the math makes it. Now the math, instead of it not making sense, it makes a lot of sense because of what you just said. You just said the price of the bill is going up. So is it worth it to you now at $750 versus $850? The question but see, now you're just moving the goalpost because you still at 750 didn't think it was worth it because you didn't make the move then.
They still don't think it's worth it.
You had a whole, that's what I'm saying. They still don't think it's worth it. But guess what?
But 750 is a better number than 900.
Exactly. So they're doing it off of the fact that they feel like they're missing out if they do.
That's not FOMO.
That is absolute FOMO, bro.
No. FOMO is, you're talking about, FOMO means fear of missing out.
Yeah, fear of missing out on this system because it's going to go up in price.
You're applying that incorrectly.
I know I am.
FOMO,
I know.
Thank you.
I know. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to sit here and say. I know exactly how I'm saying it.
FOMO is like Crimson Desert comes out. You had zero interest in the game, but now that everyone's talking about it, you decide to play it. That's FOMO. This is people who were wanted to get it, but said, I'm not willing to spend that much. Oh, crap. Now it's going even more expensive. Let me just go ahead and get something that I actually wanted.
No.
Yes.
You always wanted it, but you said it was not you did not feel
that's
like the price
FOMO.
point. No, okay, let's just throw FOMO out the window. But the fact that people went out and, like you just said in your own words, did not find it, they didn't feel like it was worth it. At $750 for the last year and a half, they felt like it wasn't worth it. Now that the price of the bag is going up $100, all of a sudden, the fact that the system is still going to cost you $400 more if you get rid of your old one, but the fact that you don't want to pay $500 more is the reason you're doing it.
$550. That's still
okay, $550. But I'm saying,
economy.
That's the difference, because if this the thing, those same people, if this never happened, would still not have a PS5 Pro. If this announcement didn't come out that on April 2nd, that the price of the bag is going up, these same people that ran out and bought a PS5 Pro would still be at home with their old PlayStation 5, the one that you got that's been coughing.
I think they would have eventually upgraded. I think anyone who's upgrading now was going to do it eventually. Maybe they were waiting on their tax return. Maybe they were waiting for some kind of like sale or something. Maybe they were waiting on a gift card or whatever.
You know how many
whoever decided to upgrade now were people who were already interested in the hardware. They were already interested in the product. And then they just realized, I'm not spending $150 more, and I'm not getting $150 a better product.
Do you know how many people, okay, inside baseball, you know how many people I seen when PlayStation 5 came out? And when they traded their PlayStation 4 in, it wasn't a PlayStation 5 Pro. It wasn't even a PlayStation 4 Slim. It was the 2013 version of a PS4. And these are people that literally had a base PS4 the whole entire generation of PS4 from 2013 all the way to 2020.
So you're saying someone with a 2013
upgraded to a no. I'm talking about till when PS5 came out. These are people that was upgrading. Of course, they were
2020.
Yeah, I'm talking to 2020. I'm talking about the difference in people when they're up.
Well,
like,
I mean, that's
people
different.
Different. People didn't find the same thing. People didn't find value in the PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 4 Pro. So they just stayed on the regular base PlayStation 4. They just waited to the next one. I just think it's at a point now, a lot of people thinks that the generation is going to get elongated. We're not going to see new systems. We're already sitting. I will give more credence to the fact that people are mostly doing this due to the fact that they don't think a PS6 is coming anytime soon versus them having to get a PS5 Pro. Because if PlayStation was saying, if we were still in live and you heard conversations and murmurs of the PS5 or PS6 coming out, like people saying like, oh, PS6, you hear the rumors and stuff. Usually when you start hearing rumors, you're about 3 to 4 years or 2 to 3 years out from like a console releasing, or at least a couple of years into an announcement. You don't hear none of that. So all you hear is prices going up. So those people are probably sitting there thinking like, well, shoot, Grand Theft Auto's coming out. I want to play that the best I can. There's a good chance there's not going to be a new PlayStation in the next couple of years. The price of this one's getting ready to go up. Like you said, I thought about getting it already at one point. I just didn't see the value of it. So now with the price of the bag going up, and I don't want to pay more for it, and then the compilation of the fact that there probably ain't going to be a new console coming out anytime soon, I feel comfortable in buying this system and saying this is going to be the system that we're going to have for like the next 5 to 6 years. I can see that being a case, but for me, and like I said, this is just me. When I watch the amount of people like with bags, bro, like to the point where we was asking
controllers.
Yes,
trading and everything.
Yes,
huh? Trying to make that price as low as possible.
Hard drives, they were drinking their external hard drive, 5 terabyte hard drives.
Cell phones.
Dog, well, no, they don't bring no stuff.
How much could I get for this iPhone?
Dude,
15?
one person. Listen, one person brought in an Xbox One, Xbox Series X, his PS5 Slim, his PS5 original. He still had the original PS5. He brought in a Switch OLED. He brought in like 4 controllers with his Xbox and 3 controllers with his PlayStation and like 6 Joy-Cons, and traded it all in, got like $1,100 for it, bought a couple of games, bought the disc drive for the PS5 Pro, bought a 2-year warranty, and still had like $200 in credit left over. Like, I was like, I said, why you get it? He said, man, the price of the bag going up. I got to get it. That's exactly what he told me. And I was like, I ain't mad at you, bro. But it's just funny to me to see, and you're not wrong. This is just me having more fun with the conversation. But it's just crazy to hear when they announce that something's happening, and then everybody reacts to it like instantly.
Yeah. But what we also have to recognize is that people running out and buying it, like I said, these are the people who were interested in getting one to begin with. Now that's going to be a nice little bump for the PS5 Pro right now. and maybe even the base PS5 for people who are on PS4 or didn't have one at all, and were planning on upgrading because hey, their favorite annual release game is not going to be out on PS4 and Xbox One any longer after and starting this year.
Yeah.
But after that, hey, look, everyone is jumping out the window for GTA 6, but like I said, the economy stinks. And if I'm not saying this is me because I'm not in this.
I want to know who's going to be buying these consoles when these prices go up. That's what I want to know.
When the price is $900 to play GTA 6 at 60 FPS, who's really pulling the trigger on that?
Not me.
When the price is $650 to even just play it, and the cheapest you can get. How much is an Xbox Series S right now? 500? Is that how much that is?
450 series. 450. Yeah, it's $100 difference between the two.
$100 difference would mean 550.
No, 450 for the series. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, yeah, 500 for the it's 499 for the 500 gig, 549 for the 1 terabyte, and 649 for the Series X. That's the prices.
So the Series S is $500.
It's 500, the base one.
That's $200 more than what it was. So look,
crazy, ain't it?
Yeah, and GTA 6 is going to run like trash on that thing. So just the $500 to play this game.
Crazy,
There's
right?
Be people who just gonna be like, I guess I ain't gonna play it.
I guess I ain't playing this.
Because and really, like, I mean, it's sure, the economic market is what it is.
I'm about to check this. Let me make sure.
But like, some of these manufacturers gotta look at the bigger picture here. Sure, as an executive, your investors are not going to be cool with you eating the L on that. But you also gotta look at the fact that like, ain't nobody buying a console at this price.
Nope.
So you building consoles that no one is going to buy. For what? So you could either sell it and have the opportunity to make the money back up in software that people want.
Okay, I lied to you. That's why I wanted to make sure. Series S 500 gig is $399. 1 terabyte is $449. The all digital Series X is $599. For now. And then the Series X with the disc drive is $649.
Can increase their price too. Before, all these games start coming out in the second half of the year.
Oh, yeah. Then the funny thing is, remember we was giving Microsoft all the smoke last year? We was like, man, you're like $100 cheaper than a PS5 Pro when they raised the price the third time. The Series X for $649 looks inviting, doesn't it? Too bad they already nuked the platform. Crazy, bro.
I just find it funny that like remember how so many console gamers was like, well, price to performance. The AMD line. That's the AMD boys used to always say that when they would get bodied by Nvidia with the GPUs. Well, price to performance. The AMD's a better value. I'm sorry. I get better frames and better visuals on the Nvidia card. Sorry. You're backing a loser, right?
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
Console guys would be like, well, sure, PC gamers, if you spend the money on it, you're going to get better performance, better visuals, better everything than on console. But for the price, you can't make a PC for this price. And that's even more so now because the budget PC gaming market is non-existent now. You can't buy a pre-built PC for under $1,000. It's impossible. It's a unicorn. It ain't happening no more. So that's still true. But what y'all were talking about, it's affordable. $500. $600 the most. It's affordable. Is it? Is it really now? Because this is anyone who was willing to spend that kind of money on a console was already in the ecosystem. 6 years into the generation, you were already there. You already own one. If you were willing to spend this much money, you were already there. Everyone else now are people who are on last gen who you really need to. Like, this is why Microsoft did that, like, just for you deal. Half off on the Series X. They're begging you to get off of Xbox One. Please stop using the archaic VCR. Just stop. Stop. Throw it away. We don't even want you to recycle it. Nothing. Just throw it away. Here's a Series X for $350. Now imagine that deal's over with, and the Series X, that same Series X is at $700, $650. There's people like I think, and I may be in the minority on this because so many people think, you know, these consoles are going to sell like crazy this year. With these prices, I don't think that's the case. And it's not so much some people don't want it, is that people can't afford it. Our economy is absolute trash right now. And look, just this is the United States, but globally the economy ain't great. But in the United States, right, we've got zero job growth. Zero job growth. People are losing jobs and not being able to get a new job. People are getting laid off and potentially having to go into other fields of work in order to make ends meet. When people are struggling financially, what's the first things that go? The first things that they cut in order to make ends meet. It ain't food. It ain't electricity. It ain't heat. It's their entertainment. The stuff that they can live without. In this economy, you're not getting anybody. Forget $650. You ain't getting the casual gamer to spend $650 on a console. You're not. That's a pipe dream. It ain't happening, Captain. Definitely not 900. That's insane. Especially coming from the company that said we're raising software prices so we don't have to raise console prices, and then turned around and raised console prices anyway. Oh, I didn't forget. So that's where we're at right now. I think this is going to be a real bad year for gaming. Even if the software is great, even if the games are great. We're going to be sitting looking at Matt Piscatella reports from Circana. Well, we're down year over year, double digits again. That's going to be, I know that's not his accent. That's me just saying it.
That's you being funny.
But that's just going to be the reality because in basic economics, and look, I may cosplay as a dum-dum sometimes, but frankly, I went to college, okay? And I got a really, really nice B+ in macroeconomics. And what I learned is the higher the price, the lower the demand.
The lower the demand.
Pretty simple. You increase that price, less people are going to be willing to pay for it.
I agree.
That is a basic tenet of economics that has stood the test of time, and it ain't going to change in the year 2026 in gaming. So,
I don't disagree.
I'm not even saying that as someone like it's like not like an epiphany moment. Like Sony don't know this; they know this too. But frankly, they'd much rather anger you over this than anger the investors because they want to keep their jobs too. So,
yep.
Shout out to Jax82 member for 1 month, a 10%. He said, with prices going up, I'm good with what I got.
Facts.
Big facts right there.
Don't disagree, brother.
Don't disagree at all. Hey, look, if something fall off a truck, I'll take it.
Right?
I ain't spending, and I'm hoping nothing in this PC fails. Because I mean, like, if something like my GPU failed, I could RMA it, and ASUS will have to give me a new one, right?
I'd be hurt.
If my CPU failed, I can RMA that, and I probably wouldn't go with Intel again. I would just go with AMD. But if my RAM fails,
oh man, I'm hurt.
I already know for a fact Corsair is out here trying not to do warranties. Well, I don't know. What did you do to it? That kind of thing.
Yep.
I might have to sell some tail on Florida Avenue to get some RAM. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't trying to do that. I'm not trying to be that kind of SloMoBackSlap. Okay. But I'm not spending for this RAM. I spent $150 in the RAM I got in this PC right now. I looked up my RAM a few weeks ago, $1,100.
Yep, that's a house payment.
What? $150 to $1,100? Man, no. Hey,
no way, no how.
I wouldn't even know where to steal it. Cause ain't nothing wrong.
I don't even know where to steal it.
Microsoft got armed security protecting their RAM. RAM, you should be able to just RAM just be like in little bins in the middle of the store. You might trip and run into some RAM and knock the RAM stack over. Now they got RAM under lock and key like it's the Mona Lisa. It's just in glass with security and a little rope around it. You can't even touch it. You just look at it. Can't even look at it for longer than 10 seconds. They tell you move along. Like that's where RAM is now. Good grief. I'm telling you, man, like I just hope nothing fails. Things is too expensive now.
I don't disagree with you, brother.
It's even Florida Avenue prices going up. Exactly, man. The price on the cheeks is higher than it used to be. Anyway, let's get up out of here. Forte.
Yo.
I think this was a good show. I had a good time. How about you?
I always have a good time with you, sir. You always bring the energy, the heat. Makes it a very enjoyable show with you. So I appreciate you and all the energy you always bring.
Hey, I do what I can. So let everyone know where they can find you over the next week, sir.
Gaming Forte, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation, DPS next week. Going to be doing gamers console with Web Dave. Console. Yeah. With Web Dave and them on Saturday. Not Saturday, Sunday. I'll be there probably a little late because I close at work, but I'm gonna jump on there with them after I get home. So I'll be there. Outside of that, doing a lot of band stuff tomorrow. Competition day. Going to be with my daughter for the whole entire day tomorrow. That's why I had to take off work. And then next week, jump in on some I don't know, man. Do I really want to? No, I don't. Never mind. I'm not going to play Marathon. That's not happening. I'm not doing it.
I'll play Marathon with you.
No. Congratulations being one of that 1.5 million, 1.2 million, 1.5 million people that purchased the game.
Oh, man.
Congratulations being part of the community that 70% of the game is being played by.
Well, I mean, I think I'm part of the 70% that ain't played it in a while. So yeah, I played it like the first day, and I said, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna keep playing it. I haven't yet. So.
I know you haven't, and when you kept saying like, if you get it, I'll play it with you, and I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
No, I would.
No, you're not.
Look, I would play the game more if I had people to play with.
Nah, bro, I don't believe you.
You ain't gotta believe me.
I don't believe you. I feel like it's a trap. I feel like it's a trap.
Well, no, I mean, look, anytime I say I'll play a game with you, I actually do that. Unlike you, who
What?
say
So
that you about
what
to
are you?
play
What are you
something and then
saying?
you don't even show up. You know what I'm saying? I just said it.
What are you saying?
You know exactly what I'm saying. I just said it.
Sounds like
And we got witnesses. Everybody know you do that. Everybody know it. Everyone.
Everybody knows I do it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We talk about it all the time. Forte don't show up. You don't. He said he coming, then he don't show up. We gotta shame you into to get you to show up. It's maddening. Anyway,
It is maddening. You're right.
I might stream something this weekend.
Stream
We'll
something.
We'll see what happens. But if not, you'll see us Thursday. Hopefully Thursday. Nothing pops up. No, there's no other vanities or whatever I have to build for my daughter. So I should be here and ready to go. And Forte doesn't have anything work related to deal with. We'll be back on Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as usual. Appreciate everybody who came through. The chat was plenty feisty today. I mean, it was a lot of sniping at each other and all kinds of foolishness going on. But I like to see people passionate on things, even if the passion may be somewhat misplaced. But hope you guys enjoy your weekend and play some games, touch some grass, touch some grass without the GR, but consensually, of course. And we out, man. Peace.
Peace. Peace.